Now we're ready to move on to the next step to create our final project or our final image for this project. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the original image that you created. Now yours might be from Drive, and that would be from a URL, so you would go to your Drive and select the address, and then you would open from that URL. Mine happened to be on my computer or whatever else it tells you. I'm not real familiar with what this looks like on your Chromebook since I'm working from a MacBook. So we're going to go ahead, bottom line is we're all going to go ahead and open our image that we created last time, so we have it here. Okay, so once we have our image here, we're going to start making some changes to it. The first change that we're going to make is we're going to change the image size. So we're going, or the canvas size, excuse me, completely two different things. But across the top on the little menu bars, we're going to go to image, and then we're going to go to canvas size. Now, if you remember, it brings it up here for us that our canvas size right now, that's the size of the piece of paper, we can call it, on our computer that we're working on, is 600 by 600. Now I've done a little math for you, and just trust me on this one, and I think you'll figure it out in the end, but I want you to change the width. Just click in that little box and I want you to change it to 3,600 for the width, and on the height click in that box and get rid of the 6, or you can just double click on the whole thing and you're going to type in 2,400. And you're going to leave this anchor up in the upper left corner just like it is now, and you're going to click OK. Now if you notice up here in your navigator palette or navigator pane, here is your original, and now we have all this big, huge, much larger space or paper that we're working on, but we can't see that on here. So what we need to do is we need to zoom out a little bit, and you can just move the little slider and you're going to zoom out quite a bit, down to about 20% or so, and then you can drag this window over until you see gray all the way around it. This is your whole piece of paper that you're working with now. Now we're going to select just this little piece that we had done before. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our tool palette, and we're going to select the second tool on the left hand side, that is the marquee tool. Notice when we kind of rest over it with our cursor, it calls up what it is called. So we're going to click on the marquee tool, and it gives us our little crosshairs there, and we're going to select right in the corner of our image, and we're going to click and drag until we select just to the edge of our image, and we're going to let go. And now the little ants are marching around it, and that says, yes, this is what you have selected. And then we are going to go to Edit, Copy, and it says Copy right in the center of your screen. And then we are going to go Edit, Deselect All. We don't need those marching ants anymore. And now we're going to go Edit, Paste. It says Paste, and ta-da! There shows up an exact copy of this piece that you created before. Now we're going to go back to our Tools palette, and we're going to click the Move tool, which is the top tool on the right hand side. And we get this little arrow, and we're going to click on that, and we're going to just click and drag it up. Now we don't want to cover up any of the other piece that we did. We want to just put them right next to each other, which is about just like that. And notice how I put it exactly at the top. Okay, now here's the beautiful thing. You can go Edit, Paste, or if you notice there's a shortcut, it's Control V, and boom, we have another one. We already have our little Move tool, so we're going to just move this one up into place. And notice how I kept that right at the top of my page. I think this one might have to, whoa. Notice I was trying to move this one, but I was on the wrong layer. So let me move that one back over, and then I'm going to go back to this layer, and I can slide it. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll just leave that alone for right now. Now I'm going to go Control V, or you could have gone Edit, Paste. Either one will work. And then I'm going to just click on it. I'm going to move it into place right up even with the top. Let go. And then I'm going to just keep adding more until I have that whole side full. Now look, that last one's not fitting on there, and I want it to fit on there. So that means I have to scroll down in my layers here, and I have to go back to layer 1, and I kind of have to scoot it over just a little bit more. Then I need to go to layer 2. Where did layer 2 go, and why is it not by layer 3? There we go. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to move it over a little bit. Then I need to find my layer 3, and I'm going to move it over a little bit. Hopefully I'm not moving them too far. Then layer 4. No, just perfect. Look how awesome that looks. Now, before we do anything else, I'm going to go File, Save, and you're going to save it wherever you saved it before, probably to Drive. I'm saving to my computer, and I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to take care of it. If it asks you if you want to replace it, yes, you do. Okay? Now, I am going to do this again. Now, I could keep just pasting and putting it in, pasting and putting it in, pasting and putting it in. Can you guess? We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across. Can you guess how many are going to fit down? I'm going to guess 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 times 6 is, that's right, 24. So we could do that a whole bunch more times, or we could use our marquee tool. Click on that, start at the top edge of our paper, click, drag. Oh, you know, this might not work. Hang on just 1 second. Nope, that's not going to work. Hang on, Mrs. Sternhagen's going a little crazy here. Nope, okay. Well, guess what? This is a little different than Photoshop, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to cheat as easily as we could have done in Photoshop. So I'm going to deselect those, and we're going to have to do it the hard way. It's not really hard, it's just it takes a little bit more time. So we're going to go back to our pasting, get our little arrow tool to move, and we're going to move this one right into place, and see how this little line at the top kind of just matches up to that little point there, and right on the edge of our paper. I call it a piece of paper. I hope you know that it's not really paper, but it's a paper that is simulated on our computer. And then I'm going to, you can remember, you can keep going Edit, Paste, but it might be just easier to do Control V, because you only have to do that instead of going back to pull things down. So I'm going to go Control V, and I'm going to move it into place. And I'm going to go Control V, move it into place. And I think you guys get the picture of what you are going to do. And this really does not take very long at all, as long as you get in the groove. Now, after every row that you do, after each row, I would probably, something's gotten a little bit off there. Looks like I might have to go back and adjust my layers a little bit, and that's okay, because we want to just make this look super awesome and have this great optical illusion to work with. And so I think now it might be right on. That looks pretty even, I think. So now again, I'm going to go File, Save, however you've been doing that. And I'm going to click OK, Save, however you've been doing that. Just so that if something weird would happen, like your computer would run out of a charge, or I don't know what would happen, but just in case something weird would happen, you won't lose all of your work. Okay, so now we got 2 more rows to do. So I'm going to keep pasting. Okay. And really, you know, this doesn't take too long. And it looks pretty darn sweet when you're done. So if you know what you need to do to finish, you do not need to continue to watch this video until it gets to the very end. I do want you to watch at the very end of this video because I want you to make sure that you know how you're turning it in. Okay? So just keep saving. I got 1 more row to go. I'm almost there. See how little time this has taken? But look at what an awesome, awesome illusion you're coming up with. And I kind of like to just keep going in order. Now this last row, you know, kind of line up along the bottom of the paper. And it'll just keep lining up, not overlapping. All right, and 1 more. And I think that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it again. And this time when it's saving, I do want to move that quality up to 100 because we have created something so awesome and we want it to be the best quality. And look at how tiny it is there, and look at how cool that illusion looks. And what we call this particular design is the apple core design, because if you can see right in here, it kind of looks like somebody has eaten an apple and it's just the core left. And then look, here's one, and here's one, and here's one, and they're all over. And they just kind of keep working together, each of your individual images, to create that apple core. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and I've taken care of that. And something that you can do, if you look back at the original page that I gave you when we did the paper and pencil practice, if you flip every other one of these over, like you would flip the layers, every other one like a checkerboard, you would get the seashell design. We're not going to really do that as part of our assignment, but if that is something that really interests you and you have some extra time, that would be something that I would certainly encourage you to do. You just have to find out which layer those numbers are on. And you know what? I wonder if you can, yeah, you could rearrange all these layers to put them in order. So that would make it so much easier for you to figure out, like you'd have to do layer 1, 3, 5, 7, and then you'd have to figure out if that pattern worked again for the next row. All right, so enough of Mrs. Sternhagen rambling on. What you're going to do now is you will upload this to Canvas. All right, so you might have to download it as that JPEG to your downloads folder, and then upload that image, just kind of like how you did with the shoe design project. You're going to upload this image that exact same way. Let me know if you need help with that. But anyway, congratulations, you just created an awesome optical illusion using the computer.